I heard about the EMT class through some of my friends. Went to a ride along, took the class, and then I was kind of like, well, here I am.
Getting to meet people that you've helped previously and seeing them on the street, or they've come by the station to say hello and thank you. It's just a rewarding experience. I would do it all over.
Searching for an unforgettable summer for your child? At Old Mel's Farm, campers spend days riding horses, learning horsemanship, caring for animals, making new friends, and enjoying real farm adventures. From beginners to horse lovers, our small camps offer a fun, safe, hands-on experience they'll talk about all year. Old Mel's Farm, DeVille, Louisiana. Call 318-794-9533 to register. Spots are limited.
Hi, this is Pastor Roger L. Green Sr., pastor of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. We're welcoming you to our worship services on Sunday morning. Sunday school begin at 8 a.m. Worship services begin at 9 a.m. Come and grow with us, a place of faith, family, and fellowship. We would love to have you. Come see us Sunday morning. We'll see you there.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good evening, Central Louisiana. I'm Jack, and this is Let's Talk here on UrbanCast. Tonight's conversation is powered by UrbanCast Let's Talk, our community conversation platform, Central GOAT, youth athletics platform, and with support coming from our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance. Tonight, we're discussing one of the most talked about economic development projects in recent history here in Central Louisiana. The Applied Digital AI Data Center, currently under construction in Rapides Parish. Over the past several weeks, thousands, and I literally mean thousands of comments have made it across social media platforms. Some residents see the project as a major opportunity for jobs, investment, and economic growth. Others have raised concerns about transparency, utility rates, water uses, environmental impact, local hiring, and long-term community benefit. Tonight, our goal is not to debate the project, but to provide information and allow residents to hear directly from someone involved in bringing this project to our region. Joining us tonight is Chris Masingill, President and CEO of Louisiana Central, the lead local economic development organization involved in the recruiting and supporting this project. If you're watching live and you have a question or comment, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We might be able to weave it in, but we did analyze tons of the comments that have been made, and that's where our questions are going to really come from. So if I see something that we're going to talk about, I may ignore it, but if we find something new, we might try to weave it in. Chris, welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you, Jack, very much. I'm so proud to be here. I'm glad this worked out. Thank you for being flexible with the calendar. I know this has been in the works for several weeks, and I was so glad that it finally got worked out. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Well, I guess when Jennifer is burning that midnight oil, and
listen, we got a lot going on, Jack. I mean, this is an exciting place to be. Building communities, creating jobs, improving lives. That's what we do in economic development. We take it pretty seriously.
Chris, if you could go ahead and introduce yourself, let our audience know a little bit about who you are, what you do on a day-to-day basis here in Central Louisiana, and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, thank you, Jack. Again, my name is Chris Masingill, and I'm the president and CEO of Louisiana Central, which is the 10-parish state-designated regional economic development organization. We're based here in Rapides Parish, but we serve the 10 parishes of Central Louisiana, literally going from the Sabine River to the Mississippi River. This is an amazing part of the region. There are 8 regions in the state of Louisiana. We're one of the 8, and I think we're one of the best. Just in terms of geographical location, the economic corridor that we have here. We're a major manufacturing and industrial corridor for the state. We're a major contributor to the state's creative and cultural and tourism economy. We're definitely a part of the sportsman's paradise right here in Central Louisiana. And we believe we make it real easy to live here, to work here, to start a business, grow a business. And certainly we work every day trying to help existing businesses grow, and then certainly recruit new economic investment into the region for one sole purpose: to increase opportunities for our people and our communities right here in our backyard. That's what we do every day.
Right, I hear you. So before we discuss all of the stuff we talked about a little earlier, jobs, the tax revenues, infrastructure, I want to start off, Chris, with what appears to be one of the biggest issues for many residents, and that's trust. Why do you think so many people feel disconnected from this process?
Jack, I tell you, that's a great question, and it's very timely to your point. I just think we're now in a period in our culture right now where the automatic response is to go to some conspiracy theory, to create this animosity and contention. And the reality is it couldn't be further from the truth. The thing that we do every day is work hard to do the due diligence, to show transparency, to be accountable, to work with our community leaders and elected officials and business leaders to really move the community forward, to really lay the foundation to be competitive for projects that we know will have a tremendous impact for the good. We have a ethical obligation as certified economic development practitioners to make sure that we're doing that due diligence, that we're ensuring the public trust. It is a part of our core ethos, and it's certainly a part of what we're trying to do here at Louisiana Central. It's core to our mission, but the reality is that these projects work over the course of time. There are proprietary pieces of information that belong to the business, and we want to make sure we also honor that. So while we're honoring transparency and engagement and information sharing, we also have to honor proprietary information that these businesses share with us, so we can help do the due diligence, so we can help make sure it's a right fit for our community. No economic development organization is going to try to try to put companies or projects in a community that doesn't fit. We live here too. This is our home. This is our community. We want the best for our community and our kids. We want them to stay here. We want them to have opportunities for tomorrow, and we want their kids to have opportunities. I mean, picture this, Jack. We've been saying for a long time, it's our turn in Central Louisiana. We want opportunities for our kids to stay here. We're tired of our kids going to Houston and Nashville and Dallas and Atlanta. We want to create that opportunity to live the dream right here. And I believe we have every opportunity to do that. Unbelievable momentum statewide, over $120 billion worth of projects that have been announced under Governor Landry's administration and the Louisiana Economic Development. That's tens of thousands of new jobs that are going to be coming online in the next 5 to 7 years. We are the most competitive in Louisiana than we've been in decades. And I believe that Central Louisiana has everything to compete. And we're certainly going to do everything we can to continue to do that. And the one thing about economic development that we pride ourselves on, we are part of the Truth Teller Brigade. You might not like what we have to say. You might not really take what we have to say as it relates to what you perceive the situation to be. But at the end of the day, the way that we do our work, because we have a ethical obligation as a practitioner, we are going to be truth tellers, and that's just how we operate.
Look, just looking back real quickly, is there anything Louisiana Central or the project partners could have communicated differently that may have made this process a little smoother right now?
Well, I think a lot of that's contributing to this, and particularly contributing to a lot of the contention is the way that some community-based individuals have really kind of been pulled into this advocacy against carbon capture. And so since they're not really getting any traction with that, people are beginning to learn. They're beginning to really study the issue and to really understand it more and more. And I think as a result of that, I think people are beginning to understand the ins and outs of that project. And so these organized groups that really are just trying to stoke contention and animosity on everything. And so as a result, they're going to try to throw a lot on the wall like spaghetti and see what sticks. So since they are not getting any traction with the carbon capture, because people are beginning to look and read the facts for themselves, they understand the importance of bringing back our timber industry. They understand the importance of what it means to have almost a $50 million payroll being reinvested into our community with over a $2 billion investment as it relates to the Beaver Lake Biofuels project. I think level-headed, rational people are beginning to understand not to believe everything you read on social media, right? To really do the homework, take the time to look at the information, ask good questions. I've never worked with a project or a business that was afraid to answer tough questions. That's why I'm with you tonight. It's important, but there is a process and there is an appropriate time to do that. And I've never worked with a project that was unwilling to do that. And it's certainly not something that we believe in either. We want people to have the information because we come from the position that the more information that you have, you're going to see the facts for yourselves. You're going to be able to make your own decision. But I think because of just the climate and the dynamics that we currently have across the country, it's not just isolated here to Central Louisiana or in Rapides Parish or Alexandria and Pineville. This is happening all across the country. There's just this natural instinct to say, not in my backyard. And they're not really being realistic about many of the situations. And they're just trying to use fear, intimidation, these scare tactics to get people emotionally connected. And these projects that we've been seeing in Louisiana are no different. But I have faith in people. I believe in the best in people and in communities. And it's been my lived experience when the community starts really diving in, looking at the situation, looking at it from a reasonable and rational perspective, they understand and they are very willing to listen and have conversations. I'm a big believer, Jack, in communication. You know, you and I, we may not always agree on every certain aspect of what's going on or a policy aspect, but you and I, we've made a commitment to each other to always have a good conversation. And we can still disagree and have good conversations. And the key is to continue open communications, provide as much information that we can. And I believe, and it's certainly been my experience, people in the most part will share that same respect back.
Right. I guess, Chris, folk just want to know, as we move forward, how fundamentally, how are they going to be able to hold the project accountable? What's going to be the mechanism to keep abreast of what's going on, and how to make that happen in kind of like a seamless kind of manner.
Yes, sir.
The project has been described as, when you read y'all's webpage, it says really a $7.2 billion investment.
Yeah.
Can you explain what those numbers actually mean, man?
You bet. And let me start with the first part of what you had mentioned. I would encourage your listeners to please, you can go to our website, although our website right now is just a landing page because it's under construction. We're building out a new website to be more reflective of what we're doing and our new strategic plan, Elevate Central 2025. We're excited about that. We have 4 pillars of opportunities that we're working in, and a big part of that is the economic development strategy to help create opportunities for our people. This project certainly demonstrates the impact and the transformational positive investment that it will have. These are some of the best economic development projects that a community could really go after and be competitive to win. These data center projects are now proving to be so positive for the local economy, so positive and transformational for local communities, particularly rural communities. We're seeing this now. There's been so much research. There's been so much real evolution. You know, not every data center project is the same. Not every state has handled these hyperscaler projects are the same. We've learned a lot. This has been going on now for about 5 to 7 years of this major rush to compete with people around the globe. And for example, China. You know, this is also a strategic positioning for the U.S. to make sure that we are capturing the opportunity to lead when it comes to AI infrastructure. And we want to make sure we continue to have the ability to do that. And these projects are vital to that. We would encourage people to go to rapidsdatacenter.com. That is a website that we specifically put together for the sake of transparency and information sharing. We put all kinds of information. As soon as we get new information, it gets put on there. There's even an events tab, so you can see what's happening. There's going to be a series of town hall meetings because we want to make sure, working with Applied Digital, which is such a great company with a proven track record of being a good corporate citizen, demonstrating their commitment to the community. We've now witnessed that in the course of this process of working this project with them and our project stakeholders. And this is a team effort. Economic development, there's no I in economic development, Jack. It is definitely a team effort. But so the first part, rapidsdatacenter.com, you can go there. It has all the latest information, lots of details about the technical aspects of the project, details about the events. But the other aspect of your question that you mentioned is about accountability. You know, one thing that we do in economic development is that we have something called clawbacks. That's something that the state and the locals, when we put forth an economic development package, that we hold these companies accountable. That if they don't do what they say they're going to do, if they don't invest the amount that they say they're going to invest, if they don't hire the number of people that they say they're going to hire, well, guess what? They get dinged for that. They get penalized for that. And it's significant. And it's a way that we can make sure to hold these companies accountable. And we believe that it's been my experience. I've been doing this now for almost 23 years. There's been very few occasions that we've had to activate that during my time working in economic development. These clawbacks, these safeguard measures are serious. They have significant financial penalties. They have all kinds of penalties associated with them. And this project is no different. And this is going to be a truly transformational project. And what I would also put out is that just continue to watch. I want to come back. Give me an opportunity, Jack, to come back in 4 or 5 months, and we can have another conversation, because I think people are really going to begin to really feel the positive impact and the ripple effect into our economy. But they're already feeling it, quite frankly.
You know, the public has heard projections like 200 direct jobs, 218 indirect jobs. What kind of jobs are we talking about, Chris?
Yeah, that's a great question. This is one of the things that I'm very proud of about this project, because in the project negotiation with the project team, working with Applied, one of the things that we put in place is that 200 guaranteed 200 high-paying jobs at this facility. And we know through our analysis, by working with these projects, we really know that it's going to be closer to 400 jobs in full operation. But the company has committed 200 jobs, and the average wage is 150% of the statewide average hourly wage. Now, let me put this in perspective. So this is what that means. So what that means is that when you have 150% of the statewide average annual wage right here in Rapides Parish, at a minimum, 200 jobs are going to be making over $90,000 to $91,000 a year. Every one of those jobs, not a few, not two or three, all 200 at a minimum have to make 150% of the statewide average annual wage. Now, the follow-up question would be, do folks know what the average annual wage in Rapides Parish is right now? So when you think about that, and you compare to what we were able to do with this project, it's one of the aspects, many of the aspects, but this is one that I'm super proud of, because this is a real opportunity for our people to be able to compete for significant jobs at this pay scale when many others have not been. So I'm really proud of that. I appreciate you asking that question.
And I guess then the question, a lot of residents are saying, yeah, that sounds real good. Where are we going? What types of jobs are we talking about? What conversations are we having possibly with our educational institutions like LC, LSU, LCU, LSUA, CLTCC, to ensure that, those 200 positions that go into this data center are not going to be people that we import into the community, but people, either people here have an opportunity and a pathway to get there, or maybe some people who are away from here want to come back home will have a pathway back in. And so a lot of people want to get a feeling for that. Is this just going to be a bunch of people that we're bringing in from other places? And it's still not going to help some of our census tracts in this city of Alexandria that are 50% above, that are experiencing 50% poverty and above, So a lot of folk want to really understand how that's going to impact, long term, short term, and just know if we're going to have an opportunity to take advantage of that.
That's such a great question, and one that we are actually spending a lot of time about right now, because we know that there are a range of occupations inside these AI factory campuses. Everything ranging from your techs, your HVAC techs, all the way up to your mechanical engineers. In fact, we're going to be meeting here real soon, because we're actually starting a series of these working groups. And we start because one of the things that we do in economic development, working with our higher ed and workforce partners, our K through 12 partners, is that we'll have a full strategy on helping to make sure that we can meet the workforce demands of our companies. Our existing companies, we do it every day. Our community college produces amazing skilled workers. Our higher ed partners are doing that. LC, LSUA, Northwestern. We've got a wonderful network of workforce education partners that we're all dialed in. And in fact, we're going to start that strategy here pretty quickly with this engagement. And we know that our local people are already being hired. We are now starting to get information and engage with Applied and their contractors on a regular basis, from welders to techs to pipe fitters. It really runs the gamut. But these 200 jobs consist of security, They consist of techs. They consist of engineers, higher level stackable credential related opportunities, and you're going to be seeing a lot of information about how to be prepared and in a position to apply for those jobs. And we're going to continue to work as a strategy. We don't just stop because of this project, Jack. We are constantly working with our workforce partners and our higher ed partners and our career and technical partners who K through 12, because it's about not only addressing the immediate workforce needs, but we have midterm goals that we need to be meeting, but we also understand the long-term implications, because these projects, they're not going to be around just for 5 years. We're talking 25 years just with one project. And so we got to continue to fill that pipeline of high quality, skilled individuals. And I think one of the things that I've appreciated about coming and now living in Central Louisiana is that we have an amazing workforce. I put our workers up with anybody in the country, and I've now seen that firsthand. When you've got legacy companies from Crest Industries to Royal Martin, P&G, Plastic Pack, like I said a minute ago, these companies are supporting over a $17 billion economy right here in Central Louisiana. And we have a major industry sector being supported by manufacturing, being supported by multiple industry sectors. And we have a highly skilled workforce, a very dependable workforce, and that's why we can continue to compete. Now, there's areas that we got to continue to work on. You probably heard me talk about this. One of the things that we identified in our strategic plan that we're also putting some concentration on, Jack, and that's our labor participation rate. It impacts us as a state and as a region, and we got to work on that. We got to get more people into the off the sidelines and into the labor pool, so we can continue to be more competitive. And we're gonna continue to work on strategies to help do that, so everybody has these opportunities for these great jobs that are not only here. I mean, we got job openings right now that people can go to work and be very well compensated and have a great quality life because of the opportunity in multiple industry sectors, from healthcare to manufacturing to the trades to tech. And with these types of new jobs coming in the tech space, it's going to give us even more opportunities to kind of create those programs that produces those kind of workers.
Yeah, one of the things that I see, Chris, just a quick follow-up to what you're saying right now is, Alexandria in this region had quite a few large organizations that left this community. And these organizations, like England Air Force Base,
Yes, sir.
McKesson International Paper Dresser, and all of these guys, they created a huge demand for the downstream jobs as well. And they left they left our footprint, and a lot of people had nowhere from a downstream standpoint to go anymore. And that's probably one of the reasons why we're facing what we're facing right now. So when you look at it, you're looking at wanting to see those larger organizations come back into the space, so it also pick up with the downstream jobs as well. One of the things that a lot of people are really concerned about, Chris, and that is electric bills. Data centers pull a ton of utilities. And folk are looking at the infrastructure that's involved in making this happen, and looking at the idea that is this going to translate into us seeing higher utility bills. I know over here in the city of Alexandria, we acquired a majority of our power from Clico. We upsell it and make a profit on it and different things of that nature. But so we're thinking about it as well, So tell us about what assurances are existing right now that we won't see increases in our utility bills?
I'm so glad you asked that question. We get it all the time. We've been getting it through the course of this project, and this is one of the things, alluding back to a comment that I made a little bit earlier, as it relates to not all data center projects have been equal. Not every state has handled it differently. We're now in the second and third, and some people would say fourth generation of these data centers because of the technology has advanced so dramatically. And again, we are learning a lot by how other data centers have come before the ones that have been coming to Louisiana across the country. We're seeing this.
You're glad they're the guinea pigs, in other words.
Oh, Jack, I mean, listen, the technology alone has just been so fascinating to follow. And this issue about the utility rates is probably one of the top three that you hear all the time, and I want folks to really hear me, and if they don't believe me, they can go to the PSC Commission. They're going to be very clear. You can go to our friends at CLECO to reinforce this, but here's the fact. The fact is that the cost of the utility infrastructure to provide that kind of power to these technology centers is all paid for by the company, not the ratepayer, not other small businesses. It is the responsibility of Applied Digital that will pay for all the utility infrastructure upgrades as it relates to the power being served. And here's another very important perspective, Jack, that has really fascinated me, is that there's been several studies now. Just in 2026, you've probably seen some of a few months ago right here in Louisiana because of the Meta project and Entergy. And what the studies are actually saying is that not only are the entire infrastructure costs borne by the project, we now have been able to track over the course of time that it actually lowers the pressure of additional rate increases on the ratepayer and other small businesses. Now, people kind of get a little confused from some time, and they may go, oh, my rates are going up. Well, it may go up, but it has nothing to do with the data center, because actually what the studies now and what the reality is that we're seeing from the regulators, they're actually demonstrating and communicating it's actually had the exact opposite. It actually lowers the pressure on rates. It actually provides more investment to strengthen the grid, provide significant upgrades to reliability and service. And we certainly anticipate that to be the fact here. And in fact, one of the reasons that I think that we were so competitive with this project is because of our partners with CLECO. These are unbelievable professionals who have an unbelievable track record of meeting service reliability goals for 25 years. And Applied knows that. And we had power. That's why we can compete for these projects. So you have an amazing proven track record with your utility partner like CLECO, who also helps hold these companies accountable. Because remember, the Louisiana Public Service Commission, we're not a deregulated state. There are protections in place. The LPC has been very clear. We've seen this happen in other states. The state of Louisiana has been very clear. The cost of the utility infrastructure upgrades will be borne by the project. The project is responsible for that. And now we've had enough time to actually see other regulatory studies by third-party independent entities and agencies that now have come forward. They're producing this all the time. If you'd like to see some of those, shoot me an email and we'll be happy to share some of those with you. They've been published in the Advocate and the Town Talk. There's been a lot of places you can find them. And the reality of it is, as it relates to the utility rates, studies are actually showing that it's actually reducing the pressure on significant rate increases because of upgrades, because of service reliability improvements and all the wonderful things that is a part about that with providing that level of power. And there's nothing that we've seen so far from not only watching this process, being involved in this project, but working with the unbelievable professionals, engineers, the regulators, the leadership at CLECO, that is going to be no different. So I just want to say again, I just want to be very clear about this, because this issue comes up all the time, and I think folks that are really trying to stoke the fire, they love trying to throw this out there and get people all agitated about the utility rates onto the general ratepayer and even other small businesses, and that's just not going to be the case. There are measures in place. The Louisiana Public Service Commission, remember that they set rates, and they've made it clear that the utility infrastructure cost will be paid for by the companies.
Okay. So one of the other topics that's really big is water consumption by the data center. There are some of the older data centers throughout the country use more of a freshwater kind of thing, yes, and to cool the equipment off. I know what I've heard explained is that we're going to be using a closed loop system to cool it, a system that mimics almost a car cooling system. How can you talk to that and you speak to that issue? And then the next issue that I wanted to go into is another one, and that is one about sound. I come from the IT arena, and I know how loud a server room or a data center can be, and so I know really when one starts to buzz, it can kind of start buzzing through the walls. So I would like for you to speak to those two systems as well, because those are some real hot topic issues that a lot of people are concerned about.
Totally agree, and we're hitting the top three right there: utility rates, water, sound, and we can talk about all of it. And let me talk about the water piece. In fact, it was kind of funny because we had some of our local leaders were actually a little disappointed because they wanted to sell water. They wanted to actually sell some water to the project to help benefit the community. But the reality is that this project, again, I will point to technology. Technology is advancing so fast. And this is one of these proprietary pieces for Applied. Applied is one of the highest rated right now developer of these technology centers in the country. They're being recognized more and more every day. They're definitely one of the top companies that are in this space, because they really look at this as it relates to they design, build, and operate. And as a part of that, they have really leaned into technology. And this is an area where they've demonstrated that because they've also recognized that they have all intention to be good, sustainable projects. They believe in that as a corporate culture. And this system is no different. And you had mentioned something similar to your car. It really is. It's very similar to a radiator. This is a water glycol fluid mix that not only helps regulate the cooling, obviously with the heat, because some people even ask, "Oh, there's going to be so much heat produced?" Well, that's why you have this system in place, a system that does not pull from our aquifer. It does not pull from our water systems. In fact, at full operation with the current facility, it's not going to use any more than you use at your house because most of it is for break rooms and restrooms. The water is part of a mix. It's a fluid mix, a glycol water mix. It will be tanked in because that has to be treated So it would be tanked in to charge the system, and then it operates in that loop system. So there is no major significant water usage outside of what you need for the restrooms and your break rooms for this project. So again, we're not pulling from the aquifer. We're not pulling from the Red River. The project is a part of a closed loop, very sophisticated technology system that is used for cooling, the regulating of heat, and it is a water glyco type of solution, and that will actually be tanked in at the beginning of the project from a contracted treated facility. I think next you wanted me to talk about as it relates to sound, I think.
Yeah, the
Right.
sound, right.
Well, part of that, and another good question, because folks have certainly asked us about that. We have been communicating with Applied. Part of that is about design. Part of that, again, is because they have these precast sound-resistant concrete. These are pretty sophisticated engineering facilities, and the biggest part of that is the precast concrete walls that is specifically designed to regulate that sound. And in addition to that, just as additional safety measures, we've been communicated to by the project team and the engineers. They even create buffers around the perimeter in the event that for some reason that becomes even an issue to consider. But as of right now, based off of the engineering analysis, most of that is addressed because of the way they actually build the facility. And in fact, based off of the studies that Applied has been doing, their engineers are anticipating the noise that you get on I-49 will be louder than what you hear from the facility.
And I guess then, Chris, in these three big areas, the question comes, the public heard you. Now, how can, over in the military, we always said trust but verify.
Oh, man, you're taking my phrase. I say that all the time too. That's a good one.
We need to verify
Absolutely.
that this noise is not going to be a problem. We need to verify that we're not going to sneak in and use a lot more water. We want to make sure that we want to see what the consumption of power is going to be, and we want to make sure that is not sneaking into our bill. So what kind of transparency are we going to see to try to make sure that the public is always comfortable about those things, those key things that they're really concerned about?
Well, I'm a big believer in your phrase, trust but verify. I think you're going to see a lot of that from the Louisiana Public Service Commission as this process continues to go through. We also have a track record that we've been monitoring with Applied. Remember this, they've got 5 of these facilities now under contract. This is a substantial company with 5 of these major projects under contract, particularly in North Dakota. We've been in conversations with leaders up there. We're going to be even, we've talked about organizing for community and business leaders a trip up there so they can see it firsthand. Applied has been more than willing to open up their facility up there to talk to community leaders and business leaders and elected officials up there. We've even talked about maybe doing an exchange, bring some of them down here so they can share with the community the experience that they've been having and the benefits that they've already been receiving as a result of that. And so that's something that we're seeing as well. I think the other thing that you will see about that too is that particularly when it comes to the utility rates, all of that is transparent. You got to see, you can see it, you can look at it, you can continue to ask questions as it relates to the PSC and CLECO. You can actually even email Applied. They want to hear from you. They've hired. They're so committed to what we're trying to do here. Is that they've hired a local person that's from here, that lives here, that is the community engagement coordinator. She's on the ground doing a wonderful job, being very active of outreaching to folks. You can email Applied at community@applieddigital.com and ask them the same questions that you asked me tonight, and they are going to give you good information. Follow them on their website. Sign up for their newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter. We're going to be doing reports as well along the way because we want to demonstrate the real impact, the real benefit of these projects. Again, this project's going to be around a long time. This company is making over $575 million investment back into the taxing bodies of this community, which makes them the largest taxpayer ever in Rapides Parish. The moment that they become operational, they're going to be the largest taxpayer, reinvesting into the community themselves, in addition to the payroll that's going to be circulated into the economy. Jack, just even today, we learned that the commitment for the next 3 years with hotel rooms is already being negotiated and worked. I mean, there are so many elements that the community is going to see such a positive infusion of resources and opportunities. Another piece that Applied is so good at. They have something called Applied Digital Cares, and this is a fund that will help with nonprofit organizations. It's a grant type of program that will be established. You can find that information on their website. And again, you can go to the Rapides Data Center. This is a comprehensive, fact-based website that is constantly being updated, that will show you when town hall meetings, information, videos. We're gonna continue to be doing a lot of communication.
You mentioned the town halls. Have they been actually published at this point anywhere, or are they still in the planning phase, or what have you?
Yes and yes. Oh yeah. So in fact, go to rapidsdatacenter.com. Go to the events section, and you can pull down that information. That way, I don't want to tell you the wrong time or dates, and because then I know people will go, oh, he purposely told us wrong dates. So just for my own confirmation, go to Rapides Data Center. That information is going to be updated on a regular basis, and we want to make sure people can get that information.
Okay. All right. And I'm a back in, and I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions here. And sure. I know we kind of are going long, so I appreciate you taking that time to have this conversation with me.
This is important. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. You know, I really want to, you know, when and this may have been because you're new, you're kind of new to our community as well.
I am.
So I would imagine this project started even a few minutes before you came on. You kind of wrapping the beginning up of it per se. You know, what was on the mission statement that said what was said about why was this project so important for Central Louisiana to actively pursue, in your opinion?
Well, listen, I really appreciate that question for several reasons. One, I think it demonstrates how Central Louisiana can be competitive in a new emerging sector because of a few things. One, our geographical location. Two, we have power. We have an unbelievable partner with our utilities, with Clico Power. We had the ability to be connected to that. We also sit here, when I say geographically, one of the most major IT corridors in the country runs right through here. That is significant. So we had power, we have the right geographical location, we had the right land, and it's important in site selection. In the process of site selection for economic development, sometimes there can be a dozen site selection criteria or 500 because soil matters, right? The land matters, the topography matters, And this company had been investigating Rapides Parish for over a year, really about 18 months. And it really got serious about 7 months ago. And the only reason that we were able to be competitive, first and foremost, and this is important, Jack, is that because of the economic development arm of CLECO, which is one of our partners, right? They have an economic development division inside CLECO Power. They're out there working with site selectors. They are championing our community. They are being advocates for economic opportunities all over the globe, working with global site selectors that are in multiple industry sectors. And CLECO Power had been studying. They had been investing in sites. They had been preparing, and they saw what was happening across the country, and they recognized what an amazing opportunity it would be to have a project of that scale. Now, this is important for people to understand. We're talking about a direct investment of $3.6 billion from Applied. And we know, the market tells us, we know because we've been studying these projects now for over 5 years. And that's why when we say we believe very strongly, this is going to be over a $7 billion project because of Applied, because of their tenant, because of investments that are being made. And we know, and that was the same premise that CLECO knew. And so CLECO went out there and recruited, and Applied came in. They saw the assets that we had, and they came a couple of times from my understanding, and then they came back around and got serious about Rapides Parish about 6-7 months ago. It was one of the first projects that I was brought into, and we have a strong project team. Our partners at Louisiana Economic Development, our partners at CLECO, and our partners at the England Industrial and Economic Development District, which is the industrial development authority for Rapides Parish. And they've been incredible partners. The commissioners out there have been so focused of holding us accountable as the project team, really doing due diligence, really asking significant questions because they serve as the industrial development board for the parish. And us collectively being able to work with Applied, and Applied recognizing, I believe, that they felt like this could be a real successful project because what Rapides and Central Louisiana had to offer, because of power, because of location, because a collective team that saw the benefit of a project of this nature. I mean, that we've never had a project investment at this level, and Rapides has had two in the last few years of multi-billion-dollar projects, and this project is going to be around for generations. And this is just, the governor said it himself. This is historic. This is the largest single investment ever in Central Louisiana, one of the top 10 investments in the state of Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And we believe it's going to have just an unbelievable transformational impact for people and future opportunities. And we owe a big thank you to CLECO, to England Industrial and Economic Development District, LED, our elected officials who saw the potential and really asked good, tough questions to make sure that it was the right fit. And we're proud of the work that we've done here at Louisiana Central.
I hear you. I tell you, when you look at the just the fiber infrastructure coming along I-49 and geographical, the site selection, and from a data center standpoint, you can home back into two telephone offices to make sure I got redundancy and control. Look, it was that piece, and it's been around for a minute now, but it was a valuable asset. So what's next, Chris? who are we attracting next? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Because you know, you go places like to North Carolina to the Research Triangle Park, and you see all of the technology and it becoming a mini Silicon Valley right over there, and actually sitting here right here in the center of Central Louisiana, we have that ability to do something like that. So not only would we have, applied, but we could have another a big organization here, riding upon this infrastructure that we have that we're not taking advantage of. So my question is to you, what's next? Can you break the secret? You can go ahead and break it here on UrbanCast.
Listen, you keep asking that question. And just know that every day we're getting up, we're coming in, and we are fighting for our community and our people, and we're trying to put our best foot forward to compete. And I believe we're going to continue to do that. That's one thing that I promised when I transitioned here, is that with this strategic plan, with our new focused, we've got 4 pillars of opportunity that we are being laser focused on. And the anchor of that, the fundamental foundation of all of that, is being aggressive, being proactive, and getting into the field and competing. We got to get into the ring. We got to be proactive in creating opportunities for ourselves. We can't wait for somebody else to come save us. And so we got to work much harder at aligning, collaborating, creating new partnerships, new engagements, leveraging incredible partners like Clico, who are investing in this community and helping to create leads and helping to generate potential opportunities for us to go after. And we can't stop. I think we have a real moment in time that we got to put our foot on the gas pedal because it's our time. And it's my goal, it's my hope, it's my belief that we can compete. We're not going to win them all, and we're going to even go for the base hits because, listen, we're working right now about $300 million in what I call base hits. That's companies that are investing right here, that are already employing our people, creating opportunities and a quality of life for our community, and they're making more investments. And that's a good sign, Jack. That means they're going to stay here. That means they see something. So they're buying new equipment. They're making major capital investments. We got over 300 million of these capital investments that are being made right now, right here. We're working over 600 million of potential expansion projects. So the project pipeline is active. We're going to continue to try to be proactive with going out and just being the chief marketer of our communities, of our people, to say, look, it's our time. Here's how we can work and navigate and solve problems. This is how businesses can be successful. Yes. Do we have areas that we need to work on? You bet we do. Every community does. But we've also said this, that we're not going to let people come into our community and pick on us like they used to. We're just not going to do it anymore. We've got great people here. We got unbelievable assets, and we're going to start telling people about it.
Right. Here's a question right here, Chris. We know the construction process is actually going on now, and there are a bunch of guys out there with construction contractors. I saw some comments the other day about who's hauling the dirt. Who do I need to get in contact with? So, are there folk that can answer those, general contractor type questions about these guys that are here in the community who may want to participate and want to work? How can they get involved in the process right now?
So I'm going to give you a couple of recommendations. One, if you own a business in the state of Louisiana, in Central Louisiana, we are strongly encouraging. Louisiana Economic Development has stood up something called Source Louisiana. It is a statewide register for all businesses of all types. This is a source that Louisiana Economic Development is putting in front of all of these new projects as the go-to clearinghouse. So if you operate a business, you're looking for procurement opportunities, go register. Source Louisiana, because these companies are using that as one way to get potential Louisiana-based companies involved in their procurement, their contracts, etc. We want to make sure to do that. You can actually go to that through the rapidsdatacenter.com. There's a big link at the bottom of that. If you go to rapidsdatacenter.com, there's a link to Source Louisiana. Go register your business, the type of business, the things that you can do, because that is being utilized. The other thing I would say is email Applied at community@applieddigital.com. The other thing that I would share with the listeners is that if you go back to that Rapides Data Center, there's also a link to the contractors. And Applied has made a serious commitment to make sure that we're utilizing Louisiana-based companies to the degree that they can, and both locally, regionally, and statewide. And they're going to continue to report out on that as the project continues to develop. And so that way we can monitor that because they've made a real commitment to do that. Their main contractor, Yates Construction, is also committed to doing that. In fact, they were one of their subcontractors, Beard Construction, is based right here. That's one of the locals, and they're hiring. Cajun has been doing some work. That's another Louisiana-based company. They're also hiring. So please go to their websites, follow their employment and procurement processes, and get in the queue. And then you can always email community@applieddigital.com if you get stuck or hit some roadblocks. And then again, go to Source Louisiana and please register your business. Doesn't matter what kind of business you have. I mean, if you may have a catering business, please go register your business, because one of the things, Jack, that we're serious about is making sure that we're at least providing the pathway for all people and all businesses to at least have a shot to submit their information about their businesses for opportunities.
Right. Okay. Well, Chris, I definitely want to say thank you for joining us tonight and answering some of these questions that many of the residents across Central Louisiana have been asking. Whether someone supports the project, opposes it, or still undecided, informed conversations are important as the projects of this scale move forward. We appreciate you taking the time to share information and provide additional context for our viewers. And we encourage everyone watching to continue research, asking questions, staying engaged as this project develops. Again, my little statement here I'm gonna have in what's next. I'm gonna keep on saying that. And the other thing I'm gonna keep saying is, how do we hold you accountable?
Yes,
because
sir.
I think at the end of the day, we want to win souls over and things of that nature, or at least make sure people understand what's going on. A big special thank you.
I tell you, people can also, they can reach us at Louisiana Central anytime. In fact, I'm giving a full economic development update on Monday at the North Rapides Business and Industry that Representative Mike Johnson helps facilitate and sponsors. He's invited me to come give an economic update. I believe that starts at 11:30. If not, if I misspoke on the time frame, please put us know. We'll post that on our social media.
And we will as well.
We're great. Thank you. And I know Representative Johnson would be more than happy for people to come. It wouldn't bother me. I'd love to talk to people. If you got a specific question, come to North Rapides Business and Industry lunch, and you can ask me directly.
And you guys hear it. Chris is going to come back on a regular reoccurring basis and have a conversation with our audience over here.
Give me 4 or 5 months, because I want to come back and share with you all the incredible impact this project is having, and other projects too.
Right. That next big one, that's the one I want to talk about. I definitely want to say a big special thank you to Acadian Ambulance, the silver sponsor of UrbanCast Let's Talk Community Conversations and Central GOAT Youth Athletics coverage. We also would like to thank our business partners for their continued support of UrbanCast and our mission to keep the community informed and engaged. Saddler's Towing, Long's Products, Nader International Market, the Threadhead Embroidery, Elegance Beauty Supplies, and Old Mills Farm. Their support help makes these conversations possible. And I can't say that enough. Our team definitely say thank you to those guys. Please share tonight's broadcast and continue the conversation respectfully in the comments. Again, I know a lot of people have different feelings about this data center, but I think we can move seriously forward if we just be respectful and throw questions, tough questions, and be respectful about it. I'm Jack, and this has been Let's Talk on UrbanCast. We'll see you next time. Chris, if you can hang tight, I'm gonna go ahead and end this screen.
Thank you. God bless.
I heard about the ENT class through some of my friends. Went to a ride along, took the class, and then I was kind of like, well, here I am.
Getting to meet people that you've helped previously and seeing them on the street, or they've come by the station to say hello and thank you. It's just a rewarding experience. I would do it all over.
Searching for an unforgettable summer for your child? At Old Nell's Farm, campers spend days riding horses, learning horsemanship, caring for animals, making new friends, and enjoying real farm adventures. From beginners to horse lovers, our small camps offer a fun, safe, hands-on experience they'll talk about all year. Old Nell's Farm, DeVille, Louisiana. Call 318-794-9533 to register. Spots are limited.
Hi, this is Pastor Roger L. Green, Sr., pastor of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. We're welcoming you to our worship services on Sunday morning. Sunday school begin at 8 a.m. Worship services begin at 9 a.m. Come and grow with us, a place of faith, family, and fellowship. We would love to have you. Come see us Sunday morning. We'll see you there.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.